In 1519, in the middle of a lake with calm waters and surrounded by mountains, there was a city unlike any other in the world. It was not a primitive village or a makeshift settlement. It was an organized, clean, and monumental metropolis, larger than most European cities of its time. Its name was Tenochtitlán. In this video, I use modern visual reconstruction tools to restore shape, scale, and movement to a city that almost completely disappeared within a few years. We are not going to talk about its fall. We are going to walk through it when it was still intact. We are going to go through its streets, its canals, and its squares, just as they were before the final contact. Because to understand what was lost, you first have to see what really existed. Tenochtitlán was not built on solid ground, but on an artificial island in Lake Texcoco. From a distance, the city seemed to float. 3 large stone causeways connected it to the shore, raised above the water, and interrupted by movable bridges that were retracted at night. These access routes served not only for commerce and daily transit, but also as a defensive system. The lake was an integral part of the urban design. Canoes and small boats moved constantly between neighborhoods, markets, and agricultural areas. The water was not an obstacle, it was the foundation of the system. This relationship between the city and its environment made Tenochtitlán a functional, controlled, and surprisingly efficient space for a population exceeding 200,000 inhabitants. Within the city, the streets alternated with straight canals. Many roads allowed both pedestrians and canoes to pass. The houses were organized into clearly defined neighborhoods, each with its own temples, schools, and communal spaces. The houses, built of stone and adobe, were lined up with precision. There was no chaotic growth. Daily traffic included merchants, messengers, priests, and ordinary citizens moving between markets, temples, and residential areas. Cleanliness was a priority. Brigades were responsible for removing waste and keeping the canals clear. For a European visitor in 1519, this city would have seemed not only exotic, but disturbingly orderly. At the center of Tenochtitlán rose the sacred precinct, a space enclosed by walls that concentrated the religious and symbolic power of the Mexica Empire. Dominating the complex was the Templo Mayor, an imposing pyramidal structure dedicated to 2 main deities. Surrounding it were altars, platforms, priestly schools, and administrative buildings. The wide plazas allowed for massive gatherings during public ceremonies. This was not just a spiritual center, it was a political stage. From here, power was legitimized, ritual calendars were set, and the collective identity of the city was reinforced. The entire urban layout seemed to be oriented toward this central point. Within walking distance of the ceremonial precinct was one of the largest markets in the pre-modern world, Tlatelolco. Every day, tens of thousands of people gathered here to trade. There were specific areas for food, textiles, ceramics, metals, animals, and products brought from distant regions. Trade followed clear rules and was overseen by authorities. Cacao functioned as currency, alongside other systems of value. The market was not a noisy chaos, but a regulated space where the empire's economy was visible. This place showed the extent to which Tenochtitlán was integrated into an extensive and sophisticated trade network. Maintaining a city on a lake required advanced technical solutions. Tenochtitlán had dikes to control flooding and separate brackish water from fresh water. Double-channel aqueducts transported drinking water from nearby springs to the urban center. While one was being cleaned, the other remained in use. This system ensured a constant supply for the population. The chinampas, artificial agricultural fields built on the water, surrounded the city and produced food throughout the year. This balance between engineering, agriculture, and urban planning sustained the metropolis without relying on surrounding territories. The city not only functioned as a political capital, but also as an educational center. There were schools for different sectors of the population, where history, astronomy, rituals, and civic discipline were taught. The social order was clearly defined, but all citizens were part of the city's functioning. Officials, judges, and administrators maintained internal control. Power was not only expressed through war, but also through the ability to manage a complex city. Tenochtitlán was both a symbol and a fully functioning administrative machine. If Tenochtitlan had survived, today it would be one of the great capitals of the world. Its canals would be reminiscent of other cities built on water, but with a completely distinct identity. Many of its current avenues follow the original layout of the Mexica causeways, though hidden beneath layers of centuries. When visually reconstructing the city, it becomes evident that we are not looking at a primitive relic, but at a historical alternative to the European city, a different way of understanding urbanism, density, and the relationship with nature. Walking through Tenochtitlan in 1519 is like observing a world that was complete in itself, a living, functional, and organized city that had no idea it was about to disappear. Today, only fragments remain beneath a modern metropolis. Through these reconstructions, the only thing we can do is get a little closer to what it once was. If there is another lost city, another intact moment in history you would like to see reconstructed, leave it in the comments. This journey into the past has only just begun, and many cities are still waiting to be seen again.